Let's continue covering the puppet show starring the TriMet sock puppets. Kim's got his own screen.
Reports, and I'd like to first invite Director Kim to provide an update from the latest meeting of the Accountability Committee, and we have Director Kim.
The Accountability Committee. This is so fucking hilarious.
Virtually this morning.
Oh, that's why he's on.
Welcome.
Thank you, President Simmons. Do you hear me okay?
We can.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, I have a report on the October and November MPAC meeting here at the October 26th and November 9th MPAC meetings. We had a detailed discussion of the proposed urban growth boundary exchange. At the October meeting, we discussed the readiness of multiple candidate areas for removal from the urban growth boundary, as we know, UGB, in exchange for adding land in the River Terrace area of Tigard. MPAC had previously provided input on criteria to evaluate removing land from the UGB. And then at the November meeting, MPAC advanced a recommendation for Metro to begin outreach potential areas to remove from the UGB in unincorporated Clackamas County in the Damascus and Oregon City area. Both areas are under consideration for removal from the UGB.
What the hell does this have to do with the Accountability Committee? What is this, Planning and Urban Development Committee?
And they're both outside of TriMet's service district. FYI, at the October meeting, we also received an update on the high-capacity transit strategy, which is being updated as part of the Regional Transportation Plan update. Metro shared information about what is being considered to evaluate future high-capacity transit corridor readiness, gaps in the current high-capacity transit network, and the process for tiering future corridors. And of course, TriMet has been actively engaged in this process. TriMet also had the opportunity to share our Forward Together network concept with MPAC members at the October meeting, and TriMet staff took feedback and responded to questions and comments at MPAC, which was one of several feedback sessions and presentations to advisory committees during the public comment period for that project. MPAC will meet again tonight. We'll again discuss the Regional Transportation Plan update. That was the meeting update from the two MPAC meetings, and I also have 2022 Accountability Committee meeting report as well, if I may.
Yes.
Okay.
And
yeah, it's the Accountability meeting. What are you talking about? Urban growth boundaries.
We met, was it last week, on 2 weeks ago, to have Accountability Committee meeting to recap for 2022. It was the second meeting of the year, and all members were in attendance. Committee member Dave Whipple provided the committee with a comparison of year-over-year page views of the Accountability and Transparency Center on our website. Because the TriMet.org launched in January 2022, we were particularly interested in to see whether the new look and feel of TriMet.org might have an impact on visits to the center.
Yes, they did. Let me demonstrate. They did make it harder to find them, so let me just demonstrate this. Okay, previously, this is the home page for TriMet now. This was not the home page. Okay, they had a list of things, and it was whoops, you can't even scroll down or anything here. Okay, there was the home page. You could go directly to the Accountability Center. Now you have to go to the menu, and then you have to go to About Us, and then you have to go to Accountability. Okay, before you could just do that right from the home screen. So it's like 3 extra steps. So let's see what he says.
I'm happy to report that any impact appears to be positive. And look at overall page.
Positive? You made it harder to get to the page, and you're telling us that it's positive impact. So that's a lie, obviously. I just demonstrated that you made it harder to find them.
Page views for the month of October 2022 compared with the month of October 2021 showed that there was a 60% increase year over year in page views.
How many pages?
To be specific,
60%. Okay, so let's hear the numbers. Give us the actual numbers. Okay, so he's saying that, say there was 100 views on the old site. There's 160 views on the new site, even though you have to click through 2 more screens to get there. I find that hard to believe.
October 2021 had 441 page views, while October
Okay, 400. So you're talking about like nobody, okay? My blog gets more hits than that in a month. Okay, and nobody knows about my blog, okay? It's obscure. It's shadow banned. This is a farce.
2022 had 709.
Okay, now take out 150 of me. Okay, I don't know. This is weird. It's not a hell of a lot of people looking at their statistics, is what it means.
And the top 5 areas visited within the Accountability and Transparency Center were the board of directors and board meeting agendas, public records requests, FY 2021 financials, the TriMet executive leadership page, and the ridership and performance page. And during this meeting, we also reviewed TriMet.org to ensure that outdated material defined as most reports and statements older than 5 years had been removed. And
why would you do that? Why would you remove that material? Some of us want the historical data available, and now we can't find it. I was wondering about that. Oh, Jesus.
And we did this only after confirming with our records governance group that they rarely receive requests from the public for this older data. And finally, we said goodbye to Martin. Actually, it's pronounced Martin, my bad, Gonzalez, who has been a part of Accountability Committee member since the committee first formed back in 2014. Martin retired from TriMet effective December 1 after 15 years of service. He worked to ensure better access for low-income and culturally diverse writers. We so appreciate it and wanted to acknowledge his work. Our next meeting will be taking place sometime in spring of 2023. That hasn't been quite set yet. And that concludes my report out of the 2022 Accountability Committee meeting. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Director Kim. Do any of the board members have questions about either report? Hearing none, thank you so much. So now we're going to move on to Director Edwards, who's going to provide us an update from the Committee on Accessible Transportation.
And I apologize, Madam Chair, I don't have my update with me. I left my report at home, but I'll get it to Kimberly this afternoon.
Okay.
What? Well, wing it. Just wing it. Just give us what you can remember. You're going to just skip the whole report because you don't have your notes. And you got your computer right in front of you. There it is. Okay, there he is. So who are you bullshitting? Who are you bullshitting? Oh, God, Jesus.
So it'll be posted for us to read. Okay.
It'll be posted. Now we don't get to hear it. Now we out here in the public don't get to hear it. Fantastic accountability, TriMet. You're always impressing me with your complete lack of caring for the people who use your system or who watch your system or who operate your system. You'll get to read it, but we can't hear it.
Thank you, Director Edwards. So next we're going to move to Vice President Irish Bauman, who's going to provide an update on today's Finance and Audit Committee. Dr. Bauman?
Yes, good morning, everyone. The Finance and Audit Committee did meet this morning just before this meeting, and the agenda item was a discussion of outreach to the community associated with the proposed fare increase.
And we already know how that's going to come out. 99% are against it. 1%, the kill 'em all crowd, the pooties, the hobos, the kill 'em all crowd. and then they have all the people complaining about the homeless, the rolling homeless shelters, you know. And I find and I said it in the last episode, the fact that you're proposing a fare increase while your service is in the toilet is an insult to everybody and shows how insulated you people are from reality and completely ruins your credibility. Not that you ever had any credibility, because you didn't. But I don't know how many people track this information. It's not very many.
The presentation we received will be given to the full board later in the meeting, so I will not give you a complete rundown on what we heard, but rather just let the board members know that later in this meeting you'll hear.
It's going to be a great meeting, folks. I can't wait. It's going to take me 20 episodes to get through it.
In more detail about that outreach. I'll also say that those of us who are on the microphone are hearing an echo, and I wonder if that could be fixed.
Thank you.
Leader in technology, Rippy.
Right. Next, we're going to move to John Gardner, who's going to be providing the Transit Equity Advisory Committee report
Okay,
today.
Johnny baby.
Welcome, John.
Take it away, Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Good morning, President Simmons, members of the board. So last night we actually had our Transit Equity Advisory Committee as well, and we had a lot of staff presentations and discussions. Forward Together, as you heard this morning, is incredibly popular, and Grant O'Connell shared an update about the feedback he's received, and to date I think we've gotten over 5,000 comments, and a lot of those comments from individuals and writers and municipalities have been used to update the proposal, so it's going very well. Just like
Wait,
the
is he referring to the Forward Together ridiculous PSYOP?
Finance Committee, Jennifer Kuzer came and walked TIAC through the proposed fare increase community engagement and outreach plan. And so you'll hear more about that this morning, but we've already opened outreach, and I believe we received over 2,000 comments to date, and we were just getting started. As you heard earlier, we have another 2.5 months of collecting information from folks and people.
Collecting information. Everybody, you already know how the public, just check the TriMet responses on Twitter. TriMet actually tweeted it on their actual main account over there. And they got like 50, 60, 70,000 followers over there on Twitter that actually respond to them. And they also have these other little ancillary accounts that nobody's paying attention to, where they tweet like the board meetings. But I mean, I've been reading the responses, and they're basically universally condemning the fare increase. I mean, there's a few, there's always a few shills that think it's good, but you know how it goes in this society.
Feedback and ideas. And so TX can be a part of that, and so are our community-based organizations through our multicultural contracts. We provided a lot of updates from everything to TX last night, from everything from the Powell garage reopening to our regional tolling conversations that are happening that TriMet is.
They're going to raise your fares, they're going to toll you, and they're going to raise your tax. They are killing you. Does anybody realize this? I know the people that I talk to on Twitter realize it, but that's like 6 people. Does the general population get it? Not at all, man. I mean, they all fell for the COVID scam without even, it's just like, here, we'll just do what you were told. You're telling us this, we'll follow your orders.
At the table for to the success that we've had in the last year for operating hires. Although we're still hiring and we want folks to still come on, our HR and labor team have done a great job bringing on operators to date. We talked about the FX buses and the hope for their return over the next 4 to 6 weeks in our team's work with NOVA. We've also talked about job fairs. So there's a job fair, I believe today, in partnership with WorkSource Oregon at the North Webster office, and we're partnering with other community-based organizations to have 2 more in the next 6 months. So a lot of things are happening in that area, and we're expanding TIAC. So we're moving from 14 to 21. We're really wanting to have at least 2 members from each board district. Applications are available now, and we hope to sort of cement the new renewed TIAC in January. So a lot of conversations. We'll have a more formal report as part of Director Way's presentation next month, where we talk more about some of the feedback we received from TIAC members.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions?
I've got a question.
Director Gonzalez?
Have the expanded membership organizations in TIAC been identified already, or is that the process that's about to begin?
We have staff identified, and we've asked TIAC to help us identify who they think is missing and what types of organization. We would love to have any of you who are interested in having us reach out to members or organizations who may be in your districts, let us know, and we can do the staff outreach. An example would be Mount Hood Community College. We've had conversations with them and having sort of their student reps participate. So we are looking differently this time around with categories, and again, board district geography is so we have equal representation. But we have a starting list, but by no means are we done.
Good, thank you.
Well, that was.
So now we're going to move to the general manager's report.
Okay, well, I guess we'll go. Let's do the general manager. Which how long have we been going? The general manager report is always like useless, but it seems like we have enough time to do it. So let's go.
General Manager Desue.
Okay.
And this will be crap because every fucking report he does is crap.
Hey, good morning, President Simmons, board members. Good to see you here, staff, public. Thank you for being here with us this morning. This morning we'll be sharing very timely information with you on our October-November ridership numbers. We'll give you an update on the status of our FX articulated buses, and we're going to let you know about the public engagement that's underway regarding our fare increase proposal. And we will recognize our on-street customer service team for all that they do.
And he's not going to talk about missed buses, stop trips, how many operators are off sick, how many operators are assaulted, how many breakdowns, how many stranded riders. We're not going to talk about any of that, right, Sam? Of course not. Nope, we're not going to talk about that. It's all going to be, we make sure we only talk about positive things at these board meetings.
For our riders in our community. And then I will give you my top 10 lists for 2022 TriMet accomplishments. So let's start with our ridership. We just provided over 4.3 million rides in November. And when you take the weekly...
I wish they would stop giving us that figure. Start giving us the actual people riding. How many people are riding? Stop with the rides. You know, that's always been a shield of false propaganda. We gave 4 million rides. How many people are actually using your system is what we want to know. But they're not going to tell you because it sounds better.
System-wide ridership, that's up 10% over November of last year. But I want to let you know as well is that we're still down 45% from pre-pandemic levels right now. Also like to update you on the October ridership numbers. This information was not presented during last month's board retreat. For the month of October, we provided over 5 million rides. Our weekly system ridership was up 17% over October of 2021. And want to just kind of say that these are really bright spots for us regarding our ridership coming back to the system. I want to recall and share with you the latest developments on our articulated buses for the FX2 division line. Our maintenance team worked very closely with our manufacturer, Novabus, to identify the cause of mechanical defect that led to the recall of all of our buses. I can't thank our employees enough, both on the operations side and our maintenance side, for raising, investigating, and following through on this issue, which involved loose or missing bolts on the frame of the bus. Their care and diligence not only kept our employees safe and our riders safe, but their actions really helped this entire industry to keep.
I want to know why Novabus isn't taking this. They're the ones that are responsible for the bus. Why aren't they unilaterally fixing this problem, okay, with their mechanics? Why are you taking time to deal with this? This is a Nova. Are they out of do they come with no warranties? What's the deal with this?
Keep it safe across the country. So it looks like we will be returning our buses back to service if all goes well. So we are now in an initial phase of validation currently with multiple buses. Staff has begun vetting the solution last week with road tests. Periodically, the buses are checked and to ensure that those bolts are staying put. And once we have confident and believe in the validation of this solution,
Why don't you just put a nut on the bolt? I mean, isn't that how you secure a bolt with a nut, right? And what's the deal? I mean, why is this a problem? They know how to secure bolts on machinery.
our mechanics will install the new parts needed on all 31 of our FX buses. And we're looking at having our buses back by the end of December. I want to just transition for a moment and talk through the proposed 2024 fare increase, which TriMet has prepared at board's direction.
No, you just lied. You have just lied to our face. Okay, I have to stop it right there. He just lied, and I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out as a motherfucking liar. He just had the nerve to say, we've prepared this fare increase at the board of directors' direction. And I have to stop it right there and get you clear on this lie, because you have to understand he is a liar. And we are going to show you that for the few of you who watch this, and for my own gratification, okay, of things. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? We'll find it. Just be calm. Be calm. I'll get it. Do I? Oh, I might have this bookmarked in my. I might have this easier to find this on my Twitter than on my blog, because my blog is goddamn. I got 10,000 posts and I don't know where any of them are. Okay, here it is. Okay, he just said at the direction of the board. Now let's listen to the truth.
Riders and transit-dependent riders. So I'm in favor of anything that we can do to just push out this conversation further and not have an immediate fare increase.
Director Edwards.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention earlier that, and I'd raised this issue prior, about is there an opportunity to phase it in somehow? Can we do 10 cents now, 20 cents later, 30 cents later?
That's not the proposal.
Oh, I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that can that be under consideration going forward? Okay.
No,
All right.
no. This is, the staff has developed this on the basis of their understanding of where the agency is. And it's not the board to come up with a different proposal.
There you go. So he just lied to our face. There's the proof. It won't be covered in any news network. It won't be written about in any periodical. Only me and my handful of followers know it. But he just lied to our face right there. That makes him a verified liar, and we know it. And so that means everything he says is no longer, you can't believe anything, because he's been caught in a bull-faced lie, which means everything he says you can't believe. I already didn't believe anything he was saying anyway. But for those Sam Desue supporters out there, the suckers among you, he's a lying executive technocrat. He doesn't care about you, about me, about anything. He's just a liar in a position of authority, because that's how you get to be a director of these transit. You have to have the skills to lie with a straight face, and he certainly has them.
It seeks a 30-cent fare increase for adult for 2.5-hour tickets and Lyft single rides. Also, a 60-cent increase in an adult day pass. It also calls for raising our honored citizen and youth fares by 15 cents for a 2.5-hour ticket and 30 cents for a day pass. The proposal currently does not raise our monthly pass or our annual fares. We will be meeting with community members.
Well, that's good. At least they're not raising the monthly pass. I guess they're trying to get people to buy the monthly pass. I don't like it. I reject it. Bad. bad on top of everything else going on. This is the stupidest thing you could do.
Have the opportunity to share feedback in advance of the board's vote, which is expected in May. J.C. Venetta just walked up to the stage here. He's the Executive Director of Public Affairs, and he's going to give the details on the public engagement. So, J.C., I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Are you running the slideshow?
Mr. Goofy.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. So what I wanted to do is go over our entire program of outreach and engagement that we have planned for this. You can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Just to recap,
This should be good.
Sam went over it. We have hit the ground running after your decision to direct us for that fare increase.
There, he just lied to us too. After we just heard Simmons tell us that the TriMet staff has put this proposal to them, and it's not for the board to change it. So there's two liars. You're liars, and your pants are on fire, and I see you.
We began our community engagement, our Title VI analysis, which John Gardner is leading, all for us to bring you an ordinance for your decision at your May 2023 meeting. The fare increase would...
Title VI analysis. Yes, it fucks everybody equally. That's what we can tell you. Look at this garbage, man. What garbage? I have to, I don't know. I can't, I've got to stop right now. I don't want to hear anymore right now. I'm sorry. I just can't take these liars for very long.